But figuratively speaking, we can go from 0 to infinity just like that. It doesn't have to be sequential or incremental. How many of you have made goals before and you wrote out a list of the steps you needed to take to get there? From point A to B, the point, yeah, okay. So first I have to do this, and once I've accomplished it, I can do the next step. What if you have 75 steps to get from where you are to where you want to be, to the goal? What if you could just skip over some of those steps? Do you have to do step 74 before you can cross the finish line to 75? No. Okay. This year, we're talking about branching out, thinking outside the box, thinking outside the list of what we have to do traditionally to get from here to there. And taking a quantum leap, if you will, doing things in a different way, in a way that's accelerated, with energy that is expanded, so that we don't continue putting the good we seek off into the future forever. It's now. It's present. It's waiting for us to embody it and to invite it in. We're talking about activating God to the fullest. So we don't have to go from step 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 sequentially or incrementally. Let's say you like your job and you love the company you work for, but you're ready to grow in this position. So maybe you apply for a promotion this year. And part of what happens as a result of that is a greater salary, perhaps. Okay? And there's some practical kinds of things you need to do to apply for that job. You maybe go online and fill out the form. I don't know what that is. But if you have a rigid set of rules in your mind about what it takes to get from the job you're in to the promotion you seek, and you have to do all these things before you get that new title, think again. Maybe you could waltz right in the boss's office and say, you know what? This coming Monday, I want to be in that job. And maybe your boss, in her infinite wisdom, says, you know, I was just waiting for somebody to walk through my door. It can look like that. How many of you have a health goal for this year? Yeah, okay. How many health goals involve losing weight? Okay. So how many of you are telling yourselves, I can't do this thing until I lose weight? You know what? It may not be true. Go ahead and do the thing. If you go ahead and do the thing, your body brings itself to the perfect place it needs to be in order for you to do that thing. If you want to run a 5K and you think, well, but first I have to lose 37 pounds, what if you never lose the 37 pounds? Go ahead and register for that 5K. Get the right shoes. Start training for it. Get some friends and walk and jog and go to it. And you know what? Your body will take care of itself. Your weight will take care of itself. You don't get to make up those rules. Only God makes up those rules. And if God could want anything for us, it's that we have our vision. If your vision is to do this thing, go ahead and be the person who does that thing, and everything else takes care of itself in the process. We are activating God to the fullest. We are embracing us to the power of infinity. Now, one of the things that's a challenge for many of us, and my husband's going to wake up in a second back there and say, oh my God, she is the pot calling the kettle black. We can't criticize where we are and move forward. Well, you know, I got together with some friends and we walked a mile and we were just so tired and sweaty, I have to lose these 37 pounds. Seriously. Now, I know some people can go out and do that 5K, but not me, because it's too hard. And then you start criticizing your body, okay? I criticize everything. One of the gifts I bring to the world is my critical eye. And sometimes, it's true. When I go somewhere, like when I moved here, I transformed the building. I walked in and said, oh God, this is ugly. The chairs have got to go. We need carpet. I can't walk on that floor. Okay, so I beautify places. And I correct people's writing and make it more wonderful. That's why I've been an excellent editor for so many years. And I like to think I even make people look better. Okay? When I first moved to Fremont and met Shirley Penny for the first time, I gave her a hug, and she said, "Thank you. You have done wonders with Jay's hair." So, criticism is not a bad thing if we know when to move forward out of the criticism into action. It is okay to wake up one morning on January 1st, for example, and say, "I don't like how I feel in my body. I want more energy. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to exercise. I don't particularly care for these money struggles I've been experiencing. I'm going to do something about it." We don't stay stuck in the problem criticizing it. We notice, perhaps we even describe it, maybe a little too much to our friends, but then we stop and we move forward, keeping in mind only the vision of the thing we want, not the thing we no longer want. So, stop criticizing. And I promise to do that as well. That is my biggest commitment to myself, that as I move into being the woman in my vision, that woman does not criticize the way this woman has been lately. I'm done with that, okay? So, Helen Keller said, "No pessimist ever discovered the secret to the stars, or sailed to an uncharted land, or opened a new heaven to the human spirit." No pessimist ever did that. Only optimists do that. And this teaching, we don't espouse optimism, but we do live from a place of positive thinking, which is much bigger an idea than simply being an optimist could ever be. So, no pessimist ever discovered the secret to the stars. What discoveries are you ready to make this year? Do you have some in mind? If you have a discovery in mind for yourself, raise your hand. Yeah. So the discoveries you have yet to make will never be made unless you allow yourself to move forward. Okay? And in order to move forward, all of us, we have to look ahead. We have to look ahead, not at where we are, but where we're going, and see that as real and present right here and right now. We have to look ahead to where we want to be, regardless of where we are in the moment or where we've been up until now. None of that matters anymore. It's a new idea, it's a new day, because God of itself is always becoming more. God is always an expression, and everything in creation is everything in creation. It's already been created. It may not be present in form as of yet, but God is always taking form anew, always becoming more of itself. And because we partake of its nature, we are always becoming more of ourselves. That is law. Even though it may not look like that in our lives right now, we are always becoming more. We are always on the edge of becoming our next great manifestation of truth, of spirit of the divine. Always. We're always on that edge. And we keep going forward. Okay? So it's time for us to actively engage in a higher level of awareness. Mindful, actually, that we're standing on that edge of becoming the next magnificent expression of the divine. And happy to be on the edge of becoming the next magnificent expression of the divine. Now let's look at some practical applications of today's lesson vis-a-vis the 3 major areas of life. Some people say they have 5 major areas of life. I like to handle 3. That's a good number for me. Health, wealth, and love, relationships, whatever you want to call that one. Let's start with health. Because I know that every person here this morning, every person not here this morning, but particularly people who are in a service somewhere this morning, are ready. They're ready to create success in 2012 in every area of life. Okay, let's start with health. My grandmother is fond of saying, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And my twist on that is, if you have your health, you have everything. because all the love and money in the world do you no good if you don't feel healthy and energetic enough to enjoy them, right? So I want you to ask yourself 3 questions, and you might want to write these down, or I can email them to you later, but these are important questions for each area, and there's 3. Where do I want my health to be by the end of 2012? How many of you have a picture in your mind, even if you're not actively working on improved health? Do you know what you want your health to look like by the end of 2012? Okay. Question number 2. What choices and decisions will I make this month to propel me toward that success? Who has an idea about what they'll do in January? Okay. And question number 3, and maybe this is the most important one, because we are talking about present moment awareness and present moment action. What action will I take this week? What action will I take this week to invite perfect health to manifest as my reality right now?